impeccable today to beat Barca.
I think James definitely did Freaky disservice. Definitely. I feel like he needs that chip on his shoulder. James is almost trying to depower Freaky by praising him. He won't have that anymore. But here we go. Game number 1. A reminder that these are the teams that have got all of the advantages now in our bracket. They have got 3 opportunities to be heading through to next Saturday, as Itachi is going to start us off in the best way possible.
Yeah, this is just a bit of a slow rotation back for Ocelon. He's playing for the boost steal in the corner. However, Freaky moving up, imagining that Ocelon's going to rotate back immediately. That's just a lack of communication there from Fadeaway. The immediate counter-attack straight down the middle. Perfect counter to that slow rotation.
And Fadeaway will be wondering, why are they the ones conceding that now after they got to score so many that looked exactly like that against Team Liquid. Plenty of time to fix it, however. And Itachi is going to be a very interesting one to watch throughout this season. But for any of you out there who aren't fully aware of who he is, rather than going too much into it, he is going to try and show off himself just what he is capable of. Infield pass over to him, and he goes for pure power.
I love that pass from Ronicky as well. Ronicky's such a famous scorer, and you can already see that Fadeaway were expecting the shot when he flew up in that position. Definitely a position he could be shooting from effectively. The pass is even better, and Itachi was right there ready for it. Chance for Ocelon on the ground. Immediately denied by Ronicky. Barcelona are continuing that streak. They haven't lost a game yet today. They're going to try and continue that in this series. If they can make it into the next stage of the competition without even dropping a game, that really does send a message to the rest of the region, even to other teams like Vitality, who have dropped that 1 game in the previous round.
Certainly have. Argument to be made that maybe the quality of the teams that they've been playing against between Ascended Legends and Monkeys hasn't quite been up to the same standards as Fadeaway, especially have had to play against with their Team Liquid match earlier. But either way, getting through, they can do the legendary tweet that they always do after getting through open qualifiers usually of, oh, we got through without dropping a game.
Yeah, it's the classic for sure. Oh my goodness, the speed of Ronicky.
Wow.
Devo's just stuck this one up for him in the middle, and Ronicky was so fast into position. That's beautiful. And he's spiraling, he's twisting on his way to the ball there, and it's not for style. That is pure efficiency. That is the fastest possible way that he could have gotten into that position.
Well, Barca Esports are well known for starting to really drag up a scoreline once they start getting ahead early on. Could very well be the same story here unless Fadeaway can start figuring things out very quickly. This sort of level against this sort of team, 3 goals is typically already good enough, even though it is so early in the game. So Fadeaway have got to figure it out, and this has not been the way to do it. That's 4. Everybody on the board now for Barca Esports, and what a way to have your first weekend in the RLCS.
Yeah, this is impressive. There's no denying the clinical nature of this team. They are just putting the ball in the goal every time that they have an opportunity to. But the real issue for this Fadeaway lineup is that they're not given any time to react. These passing plays, these counterattacks are so quick that if you haven't already anticipated it happening, it's going to fly past you. You can't play catch-up against this Barca lineup.
Especially when you look at the members of Fadeaway, especially Freaky and Tigray, players that haven't necessarily ever done that well from losing positions. I've typically found better results when, they get a goal or 2 up and then just get to hang on and exploit your mistakes instead of being done against them. But Freaky has found them something. It is a nice goal from him. Well, they've got to quadruple up.
Clip it. Freaky scored a good goal. It's happened. He's air dribbled like 3 people here. Now,
Clip it, at least, at Gibbs.
Now, Freaky's
all right, don't
definitely...
at Gibbs. There's no way you guys are getting those correct.
That's exactly what Fadeaway needed. They've been struggling to really get anything going, and Freaky is the one to step up and make it happen all by himself. I've been waiting for this day, Shogun, for the day where Freaky is going to style on people. This is maybe the beginning for Fadeaway.
Certainly might be. Devo tried to pass over to Itachi. It was a bit of a forced one, though. Could definitely see that they have multiple players going. 2 players committed, and they didn't quite win it against Ronicky. Definitely so far has been very panicked, especially when trying to find the transitions, although Tigray not far off finding a shot. Only about a car's length away. So far, this has definitely forced a new angle out of Fadeaway. And they have almost got another one. Didn't quite see Devo. As it is over to Tigray one more time. Ends up missing it. And they are running out of time here, though. Minute and a half. 3 goals required. And Devo doing the smartest thing possible. Just taking all the time in the world. Then brings in Itachi. Very experienced and very smart gameplay that we're seeing from Barca.
These passing plays from Fadeaway are somewhat impressive. The only problem is that the player receiving the pass is kind of not expecting the ball to be fired at him at the speed that it's coming. And then when they try to make something happen on the end of it, they're maybe a bit too delayed on the reaction. You compare that to Barca, who have been absolutely launching these passes into each other. And they've been ready for that. They know that they're going to be hitting the ball as hard as possible every time.
Yeah, it's certainly not a criticism at all when we do say, oh, you know, they're hitting it as hard as possible. Very much, especially with the speed that we do play at, it's something that's almost required, as Freaky has now doubled up his goal tally. And he's cut the lead in half. 42 seconds here. And maybe, just maybe, Fadeaway can pull off an absolute steal of a game.
And it would be a steal. They have had a few chances, but they haven't risen to the occasion yet. Although, you know, whenever mistakes do happen, you're looking at Freaky to be the one to come in and punish them. That's always been his style of play. Wait for the other team to do something wrong and then punish them for it. So pretty much what happened there. It's actually whiffing on the back wall. Half a chance for Ostalon at the near post, and he's put it in. We have a game.
And just out of nowhere, Fadeaway have turned this all around. Ostalon just comes in. He has got no other doubt about where he's going to put it. Bottom corner. Bang. It is in. And suddenly, we have got ourselves a real game on our hands. 25 seconds left here. Ostalon will lose the ball out to Itachi, who just wants to buy a little bit of time for his team. Each second ticking away. Better for FC Barcelona. Devo just trying to keep this one back. Barca will not commit more than one to any of these plays, I don't reckon, but Tigray was the quicker. Itachi now by himself. Big test for the rookie, but he'll be happy to see that the shot at him was very tame, and Itachi will clear long. Barca can just let this one die now, but Ronki decided to hit it anyway. I don't think he was in any real trouble, but might as well get one more. Give Itachi the hat trick.
Like you say, there was no need for this. They could have let the ball bounce back into their own half and they would have won the game, but they've gone for another goal and they've got it. So completely shutting down that little spree of momentum that was swinging in Fadeaway's favor. But still, it's a bit, maybe a few worrying signs there for Barca towards the tail end of that game. I don't like the way they're clearing the ball too often. It's going straight down the middle, and it's definitely predictable, and it's being punished by Fadeaway, who are sitting deep enough to catch those clears.
Yeah, it's definitely been almost an algorithm of sorts when we see Barca's transition down the field. It has either been, if it's in our corner, we're either banging it straight into the middle and hoping that we've got someone around, typically Roniki. If they haven't done that, then it's always been wall dribbles, and they're just waiting for people to come in and try and challenge them. If Fadeaway start to recognize that, they have got players on their team that are very good at the challenge game, especially in that midfield, but it'll be up to them to start to spot it. As for Barca, though, wow. This is exactly what you'd want if you're Itachi. And I was going to say earlier on, until he ends up scoring just to shut me up, that for those of you out there that aren't aware of who Itachi is or like where he's come from, I could try and like sell you stats and whatnot. But I'm going to sell you the endorsement that he got during the off-season. He got an endorsement from Fairy Peak, of all people, in an interview. If you want anyone that's going to say, all right, this guy's going to be a future top star at the pro scene, Fairy is the one to get that nod from.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Fairy's a nice guy and a very respectful competitor, always, giving his opponents kind words. But he really did highlight Itachi, and it was, he's asked to give a comment on him, and he has high hopes for him. And also, I like Fairy. I'm also glad to see Itachi getting this opportunity to show everybody what he can do, because he is a monstrous player. Very confident, very fast, extremely smart as well, and he does play a lot with the other French players who are at the very top of the European scene, so it's no surprise to see that he's got that experience already.
No, the only thing that Ferry did mention is that maybe it'll take a little bit of time for Itachi to truly settle into high-level rotations. So far has not been an issue, but might highlight itself more in more high-pressure scenarios. For now, he will be the player on the ball. Freaky looking to try and charge him down. That is not the best ball from Itachi, but nobody around from Fadeaway to try and intercept, and Devo, of all people, is the one that you want to take for those air dribbles. Can just kill so much time for your team to try and recover. Freaky back to the midfield. Ostalon Tries to hand it off to Tigre, who has to go racing for it. Now he's out of the play. Zero boost on Ocelon as well. I mean, Freaky's all by himself. Has to play this well because this is starting to look worse and worse now for Fadeaway. Need a decent bit of possession. Instead, Barca looking to string together some passing plays. Freaky has had to do so much now defensively. He's come out on top very well, and he's got enough time for Ocelon to reboost. That is well played. Fadeaway escape.
Yeah, a bit greedy there by Itachi on the outside of the ball, allowing Ocelon to just power straight through him. And that's given Fadeaway time to breathe in defense, gather boost in all three of their players, and now they're back in the game. They were really struggling to keep up with Barca when they did get boost starved briefly there. Barca need to just show a bit of patience. They don't need to force the issue and, you know, take a shot at the first opportunity. They just need to keep the ball in the orange half, because when Barca are in offense, they look great. They look like easily one of the best teams in the region right now. But, you know, defensively, not a great showing in game one here. Certainly towards the end of it. That's a good shot by Freaky, and again, the defense is sleeping for Barcelona.
Well, not necessarily sleeping, more getting knocked out by Tigre. Ronicky gets clipped on his way, and he will be removed. Great start here for Fadeaway, looking to try and continue what they managed to start with the second half of the last game. Now 1-up, and one thing I've been very surprised with so far is that I was expecting Fadeaway especially to play a lot more boomer ball, a lot more long clears all the time. Instead, you know, whilst the passes haven't necessarily been amazing or as effective as they'd like them to be, they are attempting them a lot as it's dunked in. Itachi has got himself his 4th in 2 games, and it's really out of nowhere.
It shouldn't be happening at this level. Freaky should know better than to hit that ball straight down the middle. That's the one place Itachi is likely to be coming from. If he plays that to the side, they're totally fine. But, you know, I would say both teams are struggling with their clearing today. They've taken their chances very well. This is impressive to see how quickly every single opportunity is sent on target quickly. But which team is going to solidify it? Because that's how you take this game to the next level.
Itachi already up. Can't quite get there in time, but he did manage to put Ocelon off a little bit. Tigre has to avoid the bump from Devo, who does narrowly get out of the way. Ronicky works it well. Devo, still a lot of work to do. Was going to try and set up for Itachi, who second guesses it. Saw Ronicky wanted to go for the half rotation, decided to let him do so and put the rest of Barca back into a decent spot to defend against what Fadeaway are going to try and put forward, and immediately transition. Shot from Ronicky. Couldn't quite get under it enough to put it top corner.
There's that infield pass again from Barca. This one is closed down. It looks like Fadeaway have spotted that consistent play that Barca keep going for. Fadeaway now, they've got to be careful that they don't let shots come in from the near post area. If they're covering the infield pass, if they're covering the backboard, maybe the goal is going to be the open slot for Barca to aim at. And these guys know how to hit the ball hard, especially in the final third. Ronicky's going to give it a go here. It's blocked well by Ocelon, still in the middle. Is anybody there? Ocelon again with the clear. Fadeaway are going completely even with Barca in game 2. I wondered if they would be able to do that after, you know, losing that streak that they had of 3 goals in a row at the end of the last game. It looks like they have figured this one out just fine.
Yeah, certainly an even game so far. Very much seemed like a blip, but Ocelon comes in with a wrecking ball. And a rare time where Barca just have no one on the backboard for them.
Yeah, they had this exact same problem for the first goal of this game. The backboard was completely wide open. So as soon as a shot comes in over crossbar level, they don't have anybody who can intercept that. They didn't have anybody chasing it down either. So consistent problems for Barcelona in defense again. They're showing lots of weaknesses between these games. Luckily for them, their offense is just carrying them anyway. Devo with the reset and the goal.
You know, sometimes given how topsy-turvy his last few years have been, we forget just how mechanically gifted Devo really is. What a reminder. My goodness, putting Fadeaway on blast and blasting away with that nuke goal explosion as well. Freaky would like to immediately put that info out of his head though. Couldn't quite make contact. Still, what a goal. Itachi wants to find Devo again. Might as well start feeding him if he's going to start hitting goals like that. We'll try and get the one touch. Ocelon will keep the pressure going. Gets one touch to set himself up. Infield pass, another touch.
What?
And Ocelon is willing to try and show off just as much as Devo.
This second touch was ridiculous. How did he get that much power on it? This sent it flying into the top corner, and Ronicky was motionless, more than a spectator than a goalkeeper in that play. unbelievable from Ostel on fadeaway lead with 51 seconds to go.
Trying to look to tie us up at 1 each. Here's Itachi. Couldn't find the infield. There's going to be no one there for his team. Tigray clears long, and Itachi came a little bit far forward. That gives up a lot of pressure. Fadeaway can look to move out now. Good challenge from Ostelon. Devo booms long. Does not have a Ronicky to quite go for, but it was a double commit from Fadeaway. It was a needless one at that. We'll get away with it as the ball was put straight down to Freaky. Big misstep from Barca. Very scrappy in our final 40 seconds as another double commit comes out. Barca have got to clean this up now if they want to try and get this goal. Out again. As far as Tigray. And Itachi in the corner. Has he got any options? Ronicky trying to put himself in the midfield. Freaky, though, too quick to read it. Definitely seems like Barca have gone for that play a few too many times. Fadeaway doing a much better job of trying to get ahead of those now. Itachi wants to give his team one more opportunity. It's already up. Devo will, however, be the one to put the ball to the floor. And Fadeaway have got us to 1 each.
Wow, that's the first game that Barca have lost today. So well done, Fadeaway, taking it from them. Thoroughly deserved game also. There were too many defensive weaknesses for Fadeaway to exploit there. And they've taken their chances, haven't they? But it is worth mentioning, Barca again struggling with the clears at the end of the game. Everything's going straight down the middle, and it's usually being hit by a fadeaway player after the clear comes in. I want to see more passing from Barca in defense. I want to see more dribbling, perhaps. Anything, just 50-50s. There's so many ways to clear the ball besides lumping it long straight down the center, because that's where fadeaway have been punishing them over and over again.
Yeah, it really has been. And I think as well, you could already see towards the end of that one, Fadeaway are zeroing in on those passing plays to the midfield. Freaky especially got a name for that, you know, especially on Veloce, where any team that was constantly going for the infield passing plays, he was already right there. He was intercepting it cleanly. So they can't afford to stick with this play style. Now, what they can afford, however, is a little bit more individual brilliance from Devo especially, because my goodness, that was truly phenomenal. But they're going to need more bits of flair like that, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Devo, really stepped up and took the wind out of Fadeaway's sails. But what about Ostelon with the response? That was just as good. Yeah, just as good, if not better, than Devo's flip reset goal. It's definitely something that we're not as used to seeing. With the rise in popularity of flip reset plays, it's great to see that kind of twisting air dribble where he hits the ball a lot harder on that last touch than anybody was expecting.
There we go. Game number 3. Remember, both teams still vying for a spot at top seed for next Saturday's top 16. Both teams still have 2 opportunities after this one, should they not win this series. But either way, you want to make that statement. It's week 1 of RLCS Season X. And especially if you are on fadeaway, you've got a lot to prove.
This is just a great opportunity for them. They're kind of skipping the queue here. They might have had to, in the old system, wait half a year, maybe longer, to have the opportunity of playing a team like Barcelona in this kind of competition. That's a great goal by Ronicky, reminiscent of Ostelon's in the last game, except this one, he wasn't slowed down at all, just straight in off the wall. No time for the defense to react.
And this very much highlights why Ronicky is so feared, because no matter where he picks up the ball on the field, he seems to have the best, most accurate idea of what is the optimal way, what is the quickest way I can transfer this ball from this position into your net. And he has found it yet again. He can find a shot from almost anywhere. As also a great save from Freaky, who was forced to pre-jump it. Now goes for the dribble. He's got all players back, though. Was always going to be a little bit further off. Devo hasn't really got anyone around here, but Tigray will be upset to have just handed that straight over to Itachi. Again, both teams want to play a little bit more of a passing play style. Limited success with it so far, but it definitely feels more like an execution error more than it is the play style is just not working.
Yeah, we did see one more time there from Devo, I think it was. Just another soft clear straight down the middle, but I think straight away after that, one of the other Barcelona players realized, yeah, that's not been working for us, and they made the passing play instead. That's really for Barca. I still think that's what they have to focus on. Start passing the ball out of defense. Oh my goodness, Tigray, are you joking? He's just walked through everybody with about 10 boosts at his disposal. I don't know how exactly this has worked.
And unfortunately for Barca, this is the second time that they have seen this one happen. Right underneath, and my goodness. I mean, you know, it is the highest level of Rocket League esports, and that means that when you do play a game a little bit slower, it really throws people off. Like, it looks crazy, it looks hilarious. Oh my goodness, no way! Freaky, huge savior, Ocelon. Well, you owe him for that one, buddy.
That would probably have been the best pre-jump goal that Ocelon has ever scored. And of course, like all of your best goals that you've ever scored, it would have to be an own goal. Because how would you even think of doing this intentionally? It was well saved, though. Fadeaway once again causing problems for Barcelona. What a game, what a series this has turned out to be. Fadeaway are certainly the team who are showing up big in the first day of RLCS XCU. Not the best pass there from Ocelon. Freaky is just going to take his time, though, take it down, and look for a better option. Tigre is going to come in and join him. It's actually briefly alone at the back, but he's managed to keep possession there. Look at the difference. You know, compare that to some of the soft clears Barca have had earlier. That I would take that any day of the week. Just multiple players out of the game. Well played, Itachi.
Yeah, especially when you do look at the talent that they have got on Barca Esports, you would expect them in a dribble situation to at least be able to take out one player, maybe two. Should never really be a bad trade for them. As Devo already up. Oh, still the 100 boost. That's really good for him. Looks to pass it back. Itachi decides to take it. Did have Roniki behind him, though. Instead, we'll try and find him off this one. Pulls Devo into the play, who needs to buy a little bit of time for his teammates to get back into the rotation. You know he wants to take the shot quite early, but if it doesn't go well, his teammates won't be available to defend it. Still a minute and a half left. Nothing to separate them so far. Barca still squeezing their opponents into their final third.
Yeah, it is that finishing touch right now that's evading Barca, but they're going to keep pressuring anyway. That's a pre-jump by Roniki. The ball doesn't get anywhere near him. Devo alone in defense, and he's proven recently to be one of these most solid players in the, defensive solo role. But no, it's there again. Barca hit the ball straight down the middle with their clear, and it's sent back to them with a bit of change as well. So I'm looking out for that opportunity for Fadeaway. That seems to be the most likely outcome for a goal for me. Just wait for Barca to clear the ball badly. There have been a few goals that Fadeaway have made for themselves as well in this series. It's not all been punishing mistakes. Good defense by Ocelon. Cam in the face of Roniki. 40 seconds to go still. Even. Who's going on to double match point at the end of this one?
Does drop over to Roniki. Decides to blast. Over for Itachi. Very high up for him, though, so instead he decides to pass it back over to Roniki, who couldn't make it there on time. Against the passing plays that weren't good enough, and Devo fully committed. It's going to be Roniki, who's still not fully back in rotation. You think he had the block anyway. But my goodness, that was a scary moment. You just saw Fadeaway glance past the ball as they went for the infield pass. Now a shot over to the top corner. And it's golden striker Roniki, who delivers again.
Of course it would be Roniki. What a strike. That is not even a dodge into the ball. He's had to use his second jump to fast aerial into position, but the air roll was perfect. The angle of approach was perfect. The contact couldn't have been any better. Roniki gives Barca the edge with less than 10 seconds to go.
Ocelon would like to see this one, but he's got zero boost. Fully commits to it either way. Devo does find the block. Very veteran maneuver there from Devo. Manages to kill the ball, and Barca Esports, on the back of Roniki's impeccable shooting, have got themselves to double match point.
And it really was an unbelievable strike there by Roniki. A lot of the goal was covered. Most of the goal was covered by a couple of goalkeepers from Fadeaway, but he just sniped that top corner. And just like in game one, absolute banger. They're not holding back on any of the power here. They're going for the fastest shots possible. And that's something that has been just outstanding for Barcelona today. Despite all of their, minor weaknesses in defense, they still look terrifying once they get the ball into those striking lanes and somebody like Roniki is coming in at full speed.
Yeah, the mistakes we're seeing, especially from Barca, do seem like they're the sort of mistakes we would expect to see from, a newly teething team, especially with Tachi on it. I think they're still struggling with the idea of we don't have as many options downfield right now. The only passing option we've seen has been Roniki. So when that's not around anymore, they're struggling to figure out what their next move is. And I think that hesitation is what's leading to sort of laissez-faire clears right down the middle that we have been able to see Fadeaway retake possession over.
I feel like it's something that every Rocket League player will be able to relate to when you see the ball about to bounce in your half and you think, oh, I'm going to smack that. It's going to go so far. I'm going to hit the roof above the other team's goal. And then you kind of miss-hit it just a bit and it doesn't really go very far and the other team send it straight back in. You know, that can happen at the highest level. Now, hold on a second. Ocelon's in a 1v2 here. Flip resets and then flips away from the ball. That kind of deception needs follow-up and there wasn't any there from Ocelon.
Ronicky still trying to go for the passing plays. Tachi up with him this time. Diva would have wanted a couple more touches from this as Tachi and Ronicky still not fully reset. Ronicky, oh, he's managed to catch that right down the middle. Couldn't quite catch it well enough to go for another shot. Instead just looks to try and step his team even further. Remember, double match point here for Barca Esports. Match after this one will be Renault Vitality against Top Blokes. Freaky trying to get through before his ex-teammate takes to the screen. Tachi, does he have Ronicky around? He did spot it late. Now Freaky one-on-one, and you can't give him that sort of space. Freaky is still as clinical as ever.
That is actually a great pass by Ocelon. You know, I've been criticizing Barca today for clearing the ball straight down the middle, but the difference here is Ocelon could see where Freaky was landing. After Freaky just missed a challenge off the wall, but he landed in the center circle, and Ocelon just sent the ball right on top of him, and the pop was perfect, just straight into the top corner. That's what you like to see from a team stuck in defense, looking for where their teammates are, if there are any in front of them, sending the ball at them at high speed.
Again, you can see what the idea is for Barca. Wanted to try and pass it straight down the line and then try and find someone on the switch from left to right. Instead, they got the first few bits done, but didn't realize that their third player wasn't even on the other side. Ended up just being a pass out to nobody. There are ideas here for Barca Esports, but need to figure out how they're going to implement them. They need a little bit more time to really get down on that side. Definitely seems so far like they have been carried more or less by basic rotations, fundamentals, and individual brilliance. Ronicky now off the ceiling, takes it past Ocelon, might be able to keep going, but instead will concede possession. And this is where Barca have been struggling so far. It's another block. Ocelon puts it over to Tachi, who tries to find Ronicky. It was a very high up one, though, so Ronicky can't double tap off the backboard yet again. You're going to run out of boost eventually. It's going to be Ronicky, probably the final chance that they have. And it is indeed exactly that. Tachi forced to hold the midfield.
It looks like Barca were waiting for their fourth player to come in there. Everybody passing off the bar. They ran out of players in the rotation.
He's done it again.
If that's the play... Oh, wow. Ocelon's still going here. I thought surely somebody would have tackled him by now. Bit of a scramble in the box here. Barca will get the ball away from danger. Only for so long, though, as Ocelon will stick it back in. Barca don't have a ton of boost to play with in all three of their players at the moment. So the faster Fadeaway can send the ball into offense over and over again, the more likely they are to get something out of this exchange.
Up to the corner, that's one player taken down. Tachi has to play well as Freaky was barreling towards him. And Freaky's not going to think twice about trying to challenge you. Instead, Ocelon looking to try and show off some of those 1v1 skills. Couldn't quite get the space for it, but he has recovered so quickly. And now Tigre wanted up. Freaky off the crossbar. It's going to drop, and his teammate got in the way. They can't follow, and now it's a chance to break. Fadeaway will have players back in decent spots. He looked to try and pass this over to Tachi, who was already on his way back. Freaky over for the backboard. Tachi already waiting for it. Still one goal to the better, though, for Fadeaway. As they look to send us to Game 5, they have got the better of the possession. They've got the better of this current situation. Ocelon just continues. He's not necessarily going for the killer blow right now. He's just frustrating Barca Esports by just popping it up to the side. No one available. And look at how much more time that has killed off the clock. Double commit as well. Barca just haven't got anything going here.
Yeah, Barca are, kind of playing into Fadeaway's plan here. And once again, Fadeaway are there to shut down a weak clear ball. And I'm waiting to see when Barca will attempt a dribble in defense, a 50-50 in defense, because this rotation on the halfway line from Fadeaway has proven to be very difficult to get past. They are filling the blanks extremely well and denying Barca those counter plays, those really quick transitional plays that they love to do. I think the solution for Barca is just as simple as driving into the ball. Just get behind the ball and force the 50. You can't get past this fadeaway lineup with clears. They are just sending everything back in, and what a play by Austell on backboard, undefended, but to read that bounce is still incredibly impressive.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the players as well that they would have wanted to get a couple of goals on heading into what is most likely a Game 5 over here. There has been a lot of freaky so far from fadeaway, so James will be happy that his credit earlier on has been followed up with a very solid performance from his man. Austell starting to step up will give them a little bit more of a threat if we do head over there, which is looking very likely like we are. But I do have to agree with you as well. We're not even necessarily asking for, hey, just go and, get a couple of players out, maybe flick it past them. It's more a case of force the challenge and then be quick to the 50 afterwards. If it goes neutral, make sure you're the first man to it. Because right now, what they've tried elsewhere has simply just, it's not worked. And fadeaway have been so quick to make sure that they smother every play.
It's become predictable for Barca. They started off game 1 looking... I would say on another level compared to the competition fadeaway have played against today, and they were definitely caught off guard by the speed and the power shots that Barca were sending at them. But they've adapted, and they're starting to get a better read on these touches. And it's on Barca now to adapt, to do something different. And they don't need to adapt permanently. All they need to really do is play 30 seconds or a minute of a slower style of gameplay, maybe a more grounded style, maybe a style where they try and keep the ball close to them instead of just launching it away at every opportunity. And that will force fadeaway to think, wait a minute, have Barca switched up the game here? Do we need to switch up as well? And then Barca can go back to what they were doing earlier. If they keep doing the same thing over and over, a team like fadeaway will figure it out. They have figured it out, and they look like the favorites in as we go into this 5th game here.
Absolutely, as we do have our tiebreaker coming up in just a moment, but gotta set the stakes one more time. This is now for top spot. I reckon, both teams here should be making it through at least the next round. There's very little likelihood that they should be heading into that 5th round. But it's important as well just to make that statement that, this is going to be our season. These were the right roster moves for us. On the other side as well, it's a chance to prove yourself as a team that is at your level. You want to have that early advantage.
Yeah, and I think it's a chance for Barca to prove that they're more than just a one-trick pony. We've seen this before. We've seen this many times in Rocket League esports history. A team who just come out and play at 1,000,000 miles an hour and hit the ball really hard, and it can win games, but I don't think it wins tournaments. I don't think that style can win a tournament in and of itself. There needs to be more finesse, more deception, more adaptability alongside that mechanical speed and efficiency.
Here we go, game number 5. This is the brilliance of the brand new setup, is that the old one, you didn't quite know whether or not the match is going to produce, but even by game 3, we already know that these are two teams that have turned up on form and are ready to play at their best. So far, definitely seems like they have got a level or 2 extra they can go to, as there's another shot from Ronicky. Did have it targeted for the top corner. They'll be happy to get some bodies in the way, but he's still around. Devo this time, right into the bottom corner, and it's a fantastic start for Barca Esports.
Wow, did Itachi get around that well? He had to do some catching up after Devo backboarded that so quickly and so far away from where Itachi wanted it to be. He got all the way around it and actually sent it back to Devo. Brilliant pass. Such selfless play from Barca's new player. And that is exactly what they needed. If they went down early in this one, I think it would have been easy to see the heads go down as well. We've seen it from Barca in the past. They've lost, quite a few really tough series that have started well for them. They don't want to make this another one.
Freaky wants to try and bring this back nice and quick. It was a very heavy first touch. Well, Devo time to really analyze where he wanted to try and challenge from. There's a misplay from Austell. It's going to force Freaky back into the play. Ended up wasting a bunch of boosts as well, so they're going to give that 100 over to him. Ronicky tapped out. Oh my goodness. That 6-yard box has been terrifying. Although a player has been eliminated, they have to score off this. And fadeaway had a golden opportunity that they've let go to waste.
Yeah, it's just bounced away this time as Tigre panicked somewhat. It was a tough read, but he had a bit more time than he thought he did, and he could have maybe waited. Oh dear, double whiff. Austell can't recover. Ronicky makes it 2-0. And fadeaway have fallen apart defensively for the first time. That was just a total clean whiff by 2 players.
That was a double commit as well for Barca, but Theirs ended up falling to the one you want every single one of those to fall to, and it was Ronicky yet again. But Fadeaway, this has been a complete collapse from them in our opening 2 minutes. We have seen them start to rally once before, but weren't able to quite finish the job. And now they're put into the exact same position. Ronicky puts Barca up by 3. And it's like game 1 all over again, but this time they have to make the comeback.
Yeah, when you put Barca in this final third, there is no questioning their brilliance. There's no questioning the value of that speed that they get to that ball. Whenever it bounces out off the backboard, whenever it goes straight in field, players like Ronicky, they're going to be just there so fast compared to the defenders. And just like game 1, Fadeaway have not reacted quickly enough. They do still have time, though. Also, like they did in game 1. And they got to keep it absolutely at this. This is where the damage limitation kicks in. You can't give them a 4th goal. It didn't work in the first game. It's not going to work here either, I feel.
And the question really will become, how would this look if they managed to score that open net earlier on? What position would they have been in? Instead, they have got so much work to do, but Freaky will be happy to keep his stellar run going. They've got one back.
Yeah, Ronicky will be a bit annoyed with himself here, but also a bit frustrated that the ball bounced out of that corner as perfectly as it did for Freaky. But still, awkward positioning by Ronicky at the near post. He gave himself a half a chance of covering, I think, any shot over his shoulder to his left. But whenever you position yourself backwards, shadowing inside the goal, anything behind you is pretty much unstoppable. That's exactly where Freaky's put it.
Freaky has got an option over to his left. Tigray was spotted by Itachi, who cleared the danger, and crucially so, because there was no one else there to get to him. Now Ronicky wants to try and put that on net one more time. Good clear from Barcelona, but maybe a little bit too good, actually. Gives it to Devo up on the backboard, but an early challenge, as always, from Freaky. He just will not. I mean, even at the best of times, if he's like 2 goals up, he's going to be willing to challenge. Put him 2 goals down, and he is about to, you know, turn on the thrusters and really start heading down as quickly as he possibly can. Well, Tigray tries to do his own version, but didn't quite make any contact. Barcelona up support. Just dropped off to Tigray again. Gets a lot more time than I think he's expecting. Unfortunately, he's got nowhere near as much car as he would have needed to truly get that play to work out.
Yeah, it definitely would have been good for him to have a car there. There's another place shot by Oslo, and it is saved this time by Barca. They look pretty awkward, though. Can Fadeaway find a way through? Good clear by Devo. Strong challenge on the back wall. They're hanging on, and despite the boost being stolen over and over again, they're keeping up with this Fadeaway lineup, and time is running out.
Over to Tigray. Looks like it back to Oslo. It was still trying to land. Ended up just getting blasted straight at his car. The game of Rocket League, my friend, it is not a game of dodgeball. Well, I'm not going to get any points for that one. Ronicky infield. Over to Itachi. Back to Ronicky.
Wow.
Gorgeous Rocket League from Barca Esports, and that should seal it.
That's just beautiful. Great play by Itachi again, and he's had some phenomenal assists today, but that one really stands out because it should be the goal that eliminates Fadeaway from this series. It's not going to eliminate them from today. They've got a couple more chances to get that 3rd win and advance into the next stage of this competition. But Barca have got it all under control now, it would seem. They've got a good kickoff to work with, a lot of boost in all 3 of their players. Surely they'll be able to transition this into a win.
Oh, it's over the top.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Fadeaway definitely seen this one before. If they got one more, it would almost been, you know, 1-1 in terms of scoreline, and the way we got it in game number 1. Devo will clear. He has had a very solid series for himself. Not necessarily, you know, outside of his one fantastic goal earlier on, someone that we've talked about all too much, but, you know, sometimes that's the play you need, and Devo has been impeccable for them at that holding midfield role. He's going to go over the top. Itachi, he wants one more for the flare. Couldn't quite find it. That would have been the perfect way to round off his first ever day in the RLCS. I think overall, he'll be happy enough, as Fadeaway will drop down to a 2-1 record. Barca Esports have qualified for Stage 2.
Impressive stuff from both teams, and still, honestly, a really impressive performance by Fadeaway, who are having a great run here. through this bracket, first to qualify, and now giving themselves 3 chances on the day to make it into the next stage. They failed the first one, and it's not going to get a whole lot easier. There's so many tough teams in this group, but Barca are already advanced into the top 16.
And it was just a really solid performance for them overall. I think, you know, the way we saw them play, necessarily, there is a lot that we can see them improve. But I think, you know, especially for Itachi, it has been the best possible way he can announce himself. Roniki is still Roniki, and Devo overall just really solid. But unfortunately for Freaky, he could not send his team to that 3-0 record. But when we come back after a break, his ex-teammates over on Top Blokes are going to try and do that as they look to try and go 3-0 for this week. But they've got to try and beat Renault Vitality to do it.